For this video, we're going to be putting on a super simple stick-on vinyl plank flooring. You'll need a tape measure, utility knife, Sharpie, and something to clean your floor. Alright, let's get to it. The big thing here is just to make sure that the floor is very clean. This floor was new, so it really just needed to be swept out. What you're looking at me doing here is finding the center of the room, making a couple marks horizontally and vertically across the floor, and I'm just looking to put an X in the center of the floor just so I know where the middle of the room is. Looking back, I should have gone in and looked at how big of a piece I'm gonna have in the entryway, and you'll see that towards the end of the video what I mean by that. You don't want a half piece or a smaller piece towards the front. It doesn't look as good. Here I'm laying out the floor and how I want it to look, removing any staples or anything sticking up, because anything sticking up out of the floor is going to show through vinyl, especially if it's thinner vinyl, which this was very inexpensive. So it's very, very thin. I think it was 2 mil, but it was only 91 cents a square foot. So very inexpensive. This is going in an outdoor shop, so I wasn't trying to spend a whole lot of money. I just wanted to protect the wood floor. Here I am laying out the floor, and that was my attempt there to see what, if any, size tile I was going to have at the end. I was hoping to have a whole piece, but it ended up being about a 1/2 inch to a 1 inch gap on the back wall, which is okay because I'm going to put insulation and walling up, some type of drywall maybe. Very easy to put down. It's basically a sticker. So these stick-on vinyl planks are very, very easy to install. Super easy to cut. You see I'm just using a razor blade knife. There I am around the door. It's good to give the vinyl plank room to move. What I noticed after I installed, if they were real tight up against the wall, any type of expansion would make the vinyl want to pull away from the floor. I didn't use any glue. You can use glue. I am going to go back and glue around the doors where the sun really hits it and heats it up, because that heat will make the vinyl want to pull away from the floor. Here you see me cutting a piece of the plank. Very easy. You just score it across the top, and then what we'll do is we'll flip it over and cut away the paper backing. Just snap it and cut it, and that's it. Then what I'm doing is I'm trying to get it around the doorway. If I had to do it over again, I would have put more of the vinyl plank under that diamond plate trim there, because it would help hold it down. Having an issue right there where that side of the building heats up quite a bit. There's no HVAC in there right now, so the flooring wants to bubble a little right there, and that's just where it's getting very, very hot. You see me cutting a small tiny piece away just to get around that corner. Then you just peel the paper backing off and stick it down. Nothing to it. Very, very simple. You'll see here in a second that my 7 and 8 year old were helping me lay it down, and they had no problems at all. They were doing just as good a job as I was. So what I'm doing here is I'm just measuring from the wall to the next plank, and really you want to leave probably a 1/4 inch to an 1/8 inch at the wall. It's not so much a floating floor, but if you treat it that way, you're not going to have as much issues when it starts to expand. Like I said before, for some reason this floor expands and it wants to push against each other on the seams, and it'll cause it to bubble up. When I went back and I cut some more space, I noticed that in that areas of the floor it does not bubble up like that. So you really don't want it tied up against the wall. Get it tied against each plank, but against the wall, leave it some room to move around. So we did half the room, and then we started working towards the front of the building there, and it's more of the same. You just, once you get that first row down good and level, straight across, very straight, the rest just builds off of that. So it's really important when you're starting out that you saw me measuring and making sure everything was straight. That first row, actually, I would say that all the way to the second row is very important, because that second row, since it's stick-on, it wants to move that first row around. So you really need to keep an eye on that line as you're putting that second row down. You'll see me when I put it on that I'm stepping on it and I'm scooting it with my foot, and really getting it to adhere to the flooring. You could probably take a roller and go over it. That wouldn't hurt, but I haven't seen any issues with my floor, and I didn't use that. So again, we're getting towards the front, and as I mentioned before, you really want to plan this out a little better than I did, because you want a whole piece. I was lucky because the diamond plate came off and it really made it look okay. So hindsight, I should have staggered it with 3 different sizes. I only did 2. If I had to do it again, I would do 3 different cuts. You'll see what I mean down the center. Not the best look, but like I said, it's a workshop, so not awful. If I had to do it again, I would make 3 cuts instead of just 2, make it more aesthetically pleasing, and I'd use glue around the doors. If you like this video, please give me a comment and like and subscribe. I appreciate all the views and all the comments. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.